I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So this whole time I've been doing my intro and talking and no one's been able to hear me if you can hear me.
Oh no.
So I will redo that intro. This may be one of the few times that I edit. I rarely edit these, but apparently, yeah, the mic I had was not connecting. So my intro is just me moving my lips then. So let's start again. Let's start fresh. We are here to talk about an event in Sioux Falls tomorrow night, Silent Vigil. It is a rapid response event in the wake of the most recent immigration tactics, ICE tactics, law enforcement tactics that have resulted in fatalities and violence
Yes.
against people on American soil. I mean, we're
Yes.
seeing immense amounts of violence against ordinary people just out doing their thing, going to work, driving their children to school and daycare, um, turning
Being
their
a
TV on
tourist
or
in
remote.
America.
Being a tourist, yes, and being extrajudicially executed for it.
Yeah.
But let you introduce yourself. Tell us your name. Tell us who you represent.
I am Edie and I represent no one. I am nobody. Uh,
You're just like me. I represent me and only me
yes.
until I tell you I'm something else.
Yes, I just am a person that
Concerned
cares.
citizen.
Yes. Um I recently saw a quote from the ladies who organized in Virginia after the beating of a man there.
Mm-hmm.
And they said it wouldn't matter if it was just the two of us showing up here
Exactly.
because I can't make other people care, but I can't not care. And
Exactly.
so that is all I am, is a person who cares and who can't watch this happen and not do anything.
Exactly. And the event is tomorrow night, Saturday, July 25th, 2026 at
Yes.
Spirit of Peace Church, which is on Cliff
Yes.
Avenue. I do
Yep.
have the poster and whatnot, and we'll be sharing that on our page. And Spirit of Peace has shared that on their social medias.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the common comments and statements I've seen in your posts about it is this gives us a chance to come together and experience our grief.
Yes. And whatever that looks like, sadness, heartbreak, anger, um, hope for difference. I think every person carries that grief differently, but I think that we're carrying a lot of it right now. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we're going on how many years under just extreme circumstances right now,
Absolutely.
and it's just getting worse. So, I think every time I open the news, I do it with my breath held. And so, um,
And
just like
and
other events.
and I think we've talked a lot about with this project that I'm doing with the 605 Speaks started during quarantine in the pandemic, and we lost so
Mm,
many lives during that time, and we couldn't have normal funerals the way that we
yeah.
used to. And so we broke the chain on how to grieve and on opportunities of grieving in groups,
Yeah.
as well as not. I think it's almost scary for people to have to grieve in solitary now because we did so much of that for
Hmm.
6 years and
Yeah.
continue. There's still an amount of that. And now we came out of that. And just as we were coming back into the world, we're met by this epic amounts of inappropriate violence against
Hmm.
ordinary Americans.
Yeah.
And so that coming together and grieving as a group and exchanging words or contact is something
Hmm.
we definitely need.
Yeah. And I think doing it in an interfaith way and a way that welcomes everyone to show up exactly where they are.
Exactly.
Um,
And
is
I
what we need.
And I do want to grab onto that. As you mentioned, interfaith. I know you're going to have a different speakers from different types of faiths. So this
Mhm.
event is being housed at Spirit of Peace, which is a Christian denomination church. But this event is open to non-denominational, all denominational. Um, it doesn't.
Atheists.
Yeah, it's
What?
this gathering isn't about the practice of religion. It's
No.
more about the experience of being, like you said, being vocal in our grief or with our anger.
Yes. Yes.
It's that knowing you're not alone. So it is open to anyone in the community that's welcome to join.
Yes. Secular, completely faithful, whatever that looks like for you, it doesn't really matter. Spirit of Peace is my own congregation. The UCC in general is very open.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty agnostic, so I attend a Christian church, but our saying is you're welcome here no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey.
Right.
And so I can't think of a better Christian church to house an interfaith
Event. Yes.
event. And we've held other community events that are speak to this kind of event. We housed Voices for Peace, their bystander to upstander trainings and stuff.
Yes.
And so I
At
think
605 Speaks, we hosted a bystander to upstander training with Jen of Voices for Peace, and she was able
mhm,
to arrange it that Spirit of Peace allowed us the use of their fellowship room. And that
yeah,
was that was a secular, completely secular event, a training.
mhm,
Highly recommend everybody look into hosting
yes,
bystander to upstander for your work, for your core group, whatever, because it does teach you how to respond in the moment to things happening in your community.
yes,
um, a lot of South Dakotans do not understand the phrase microaggressions. They'll often say, I'm not racist," but they realize, and I myself am equally as faulted at this. They realize that we do not have a very broad spectrum of diversity here. When you're
mhm,
only used to seeing white faces, you will respond on a micro level to faces that are different, and that can be threatening in a way to the other person. So we often think of Caucasian as the default, and it's definitely not the default to South Dakota.
mhm,
The default is obviously our indigenous people. This is their home, this is their land. Um, so, yeah, I think everybody in South Dakota should learn how to overcome their own internal training that we didn't
yeah,
even realize we were being raised with.
yes,
Yes.
yes. And I think the bystander to upstander training does a great job of helping you to understand, like, in that moment there are things like you're like, oh, this is wrong, but what do I do? And
Mhm.
Jen Dreisky does a wonderful job of walking you through that. And so yeah, I'm really glad we've gotten to host several of those. We've done it for the congregation.
Mhm.
And speaking of Jen and Voices for Peace, that is our call to action for the event, is to support our local immigrant community
Mhm.
by donating, if you are able, to Voices for Peace monetarily,
Yep.
um, because this is a time when they need it.
The one of the lesser known things, it's obviously large in the media what is happening to adults related to the immigration process, but I apologize for the jake breaking semis out there. um what a lot of people don't realize is there are children that then are sometimes left behind,
Mhm.
or there are children working their way through the system, and Voices for Peace supports and represents many of those children that are working on their path to American citizenship.
Yeah.
And so many people are proud of being a natural born American, and we need to find the pride in that other people want that too, and giving them the time and the ability to get there.
Yeah. Well, and
And they
is beautiful, and I don't always understand how people can't come to that conclusion too, but
right. I'm an open borders woman. I wish that we could just travel with open borders and live with
yeah.
open borders. We're one. Speaking of faith beliefs, we're one planet, we're one people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is my belief. My kitty is up here going, and in this show there's one star. So um
Well,
but let's talk a little bit about, oh no, wait, there's another critter. Oh, you have
mine
it.
might argue.
Oh, that is so pretty. Oh, that kitty's ready for all this hot weather too. My kitties have been a little bit furry. But let's talk about the one planet, one people. Hey Rumi, can you kill your noises, please? And your event, how are we going to be doing this event? It's going to be inside. Oh, I lost her. All right, I'm going to bring her back on the stage in just a moment when she goes live again. But the event is going to be inside and out of the heat, so that's good to know. And they are going to have a handful of speakers talking about different faith practices and talking about um, ways that we can gather together and communicate and express ourselves in our grief and in our um, sense of loss for these people. It's always a difficult thing when you have a sense of loss for people you don't know and you don't know how to grieve it. And sometimes coming together helps with that. Also, like Edie said, we're going to have a call to action for all of us that are coming as attendees to the event to talk about our donating to South Dakota Voices for Peace and supporting them in their ongoing mission. And I think that pretty much covers it all. We want to get the word out and talk a little bit about community and gathering, and we're going to be doing that tomorrow night at Spirit of Peace. The doors will open at 6:30 p.m., so come in and get settled, and then we'll be starting the event at... She's returned. Hello, welcome back.
I'm so sorry, ruining your whole show.
No, that's okay. This is just a conversation, but this is a rapid response. We just started talking last night about getting together and talking about what was going to be. What I was talking about is that doors open at
Yes.
6:30 and people can come in. It is going to be inside and outside of this terrible.
Yes, it is. It's all supposed to be beautiful tomorrow night. So there will be opportunity to have community outside the doors if you'd like to.
That's
Um,
wonderful. And do you know how many speakers you expect to have?
as far as faith leaders, we're looking at 5 to 6.
Oh, that's
Um,
beautiful.
yeah. Um, so
And no one should be intimidated by that. When we're I participated in and helped with a rapid response event after the shooting of Alex Preddy, and I think we had about 15 faith leaders come of different
mm,
faiths, all including Native American representation, all different representations. And basically, when we talk speakers, we're talking about them saying an invocation and a prayer. So
yes.
we're not looking at, this is not like a 2-hour session of seminary. This is a gathering and sharing of prayer. And I know that I have been one of the first people to say thoughts and prayers, tots and prayers. I will never turn away thoughts and prayers as long as you also come to them with works and good deeds. Thoughts and
Yes.
prayers that become alive with works and good deeds. And that's
Yeah.
again your call to action for people to support South Dakota Voices for Peace.
Yes.
So
And there are a lot more faith leaders that have been invited. That's just the amount of speakers. We just
been able to
one from
confirm.
each faith. We don't, I mean, every Christian preacher should get up there and say the same
Right.
thing. So
Right.
we are still looking for Native American representative. So if you see this and would plan on coming or would like a space to help us grieve as a community because I mean they are the community. Um Please get in touch.
Absolutely. And I know that I don't think people realize until they look into the statistics that in Sioux Falls there's 185, I think, different identified languages used every day in our city.
Mm,
And even if you only had 185 individual people speaking in different languages, that's 185 different ways of finding your faith or your spiritual guidance. And even in atheism, or gnosticism or agnostic, we're all following a path towards who we are in humanity. and
yeah.
and I think that that is, from what I've heard about this event, that is one of the things that attracts me to it, is that we're looking towards our path towards humanity.
Yes. Yes, I think that is my guiding principle. So maybe that's like, bias the event, but life is sacred. And I think every major faith believes that. Like, I mean, um mm, I-
If your faith doesn't teach that, you almost need to consider, what are you believing in?
yeah.
Who are you following? um
Yeah. And I mean, some of my the people that I've known in my life who also embody that the most are atheist or agnostic. So I feel like it
or they
should,
keep their religious following very personal to
yeah.
themselves. A lot of my friends who are the strongest in how they live and work and behave in community follow the Catholic faith, and
Mhm.
they practice and believe and are strongly Catholic, but that you wouldn't see that in their day to day, other than when they invite you to join them if you'd like to. So
Mhm.
I know that that's a lot of people that are strong in their community are quiet in their faith, because that's their time one on one
Mhm.
with their leader. So
Yeah.
with um with that idea of some people will only go out and do an event or start an event or start a project if they have the backing of something like a community group or their church. um I just want to jump back to again that you're leading the charge on this event all on your own.
Well, it didn't start out that way. I tried to do it that way.
but
And
but it was you as an individual that brought it to the table, and so
yes.
it was that strong of an emotional pull for you.
Yes. I remember opening my news feed just a few days after Lorenzo was killed in Texas and saw a highlight about an ICE killing.
Another
And I
another dad
thought,
on his way to work.
yeah, I thought, oh, it's just a replay of that because that just happened a few days ago.
Hmm.
And then as soon as I realized, like, I mean, my whole body shut down. Like,
Hmm.
oh, are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
Like, and I think since then, like, I do have I have so much anger and so much grief, and like, how do we treat each other like this?
Mm-hmm.
And how is this okay? How are we not all out in the streets just
Exactly.
raging?
Exactly. And I
Um,
think too, it was very eye-opening as we've seen a more quick turnaround to revelations about the shooters in these
yeah.
last two shootings,
Hmm.
where so much was kept secret with the Minneapolis shootings about the shooters, but and the Chicago shooting from earlier this year. But the there is a change, I believe, because in this last couple of shootings, the families and people who knew who the shooter were are coming out in public and saying, "We're not surprised. These are violent men. They already had
Yes.
issues. Some of them already had histories of documented violence against people in their
Yes.
homes and their family. We're seeing a lot of them with histories of violence against women, violence
Yes.
against spouses and children, and should they be in a role where part of their job is to carry a gun? I don't think so. And definitely as a taxpayer, I don't want to fund it.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah.
that's my anger is not just that. Probably my most intense anger is yes, all Americans are culpable in the executions of these people. We continue to pay our federal taxes. We are footing the bill and buying the bullets. And we have to acknowledge and at some point atone for that. But also the fact that we're continuing to hire and engage and build a machine that is for that. We're all culpable in that. And I have intense anger at even my own um, people in my own circle that we have not yet figured out a way to stop being culpable. And we also need to start being accountable and saying yes, that we know this is happening.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And I think that is one of my angers was that um there was so much outrage after Minneapolis here
mm-hmm,
that you could feel in Sioux Falls. And there were rapid response events held by organizations, and that then when I came and I'm like, oh, what are we doing now
mm-hmm,
for two brown men?
yes,
Well, that's
brown
two
men and
months.
farther away. And again, I
Yes.
I too need to atone for that. I have access to groups of people and could have also come up with a rapid response. And I was at a letter writing event where we did do a lot of writing specifically about those
Hmm.
events. It happened just literally hours after that had happened. Um, but I am equally as at fault for not wanting to gather community. And you have amazing bravery to say, then gosh darn it, I will.
I don't take credit for that. I just have incredible stubbornness.
Thank you.
uh,
Right before I took a sip of my soda, that was almost just your casual way of I'm incredibly stubborn. It's like, well, all right, sister, we're on the same page.
yeah, no, I don't want to be centered in this event at all. I just am doing what I can and what I feel is right, and that is um
To your absolute credit, though, it takes bravery under this regime to be a solitary voice and to put your
uh,
name on it.
um if you don't speak when other people's freedoms are threatened,
Mm-hmm.
um I I just I think we all have a responsibility to do that because we sit in our privilege and it won't last
Mm-hmm.
forever if we do not.
Right.
Um so I just am a heavily feeling person, but I think there will be a lot of people who are complacent now that will be thoroughly shocked
Right.
at how far this goes if we
Right.
we do not push back. And
Absolutely. Our state is already under the thumb of Operation Prairie Thunder,
yes,
and
in South Dakota.
right, right, not a border state, not
No.
a border state.
And the
We are
racist undertones of that are
Yes, and the way that that has been used to target Indigenous, Native American, particularly women and youth, across our state, there are some horror stories of how the Operation Prairie Thunder umbrella has resulted in the stopping and things that shall not be named happening to women West River, and um, they should be named, but it's not my place, and this is not the time. But that that blanket, let's say cowboy hat approach to making microaggressions macro. I mean, it's disgusting, and again, that's something else that we are all need to be held accountable for because we are footing the bill.
yeah, yep. And we live in our privilege and we go about our
Mm-hmm.
day and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't affect us. I mean, I'm not terrified to be pulled over the
Right.
way, and um
Oh, I and you know that's it is interesting. I did see one news broadcast about the shooting in Texas, and it was a female that was making the statement, and she was talking about um, his response because they were not dressed as law enforcement, and he probably thought he was being attacked by the gangs that the
absolutely.
regime is always telling us are marauding out there.
Yeah.
But she pointed out, what would you have done as a woman? What would you have had
Yeah.
happening as a woman? And what have we always taught women? You don't, we, many women won't even stop for a marked law enforcement vehicle without calling 911 first and saying, is this a real cop?
Mhm.
You know, we had an incident in Sioux Falls, just in the last few years, where somebody was impersonating a police officer to door knock and approach women. And so, yeah, where to think that anybody should trust men with guns already drawn, even if they are in their uniform with their badge out.
Yeah. But they never are. That's not the way they work.
Nope.
And they mentioned there were no lights, there were no sirens. Um,
No, I am absolutely assured in that event he thought it was a kidnapping happening.
yeah.
It was a
Well,
kidnapping.
and that was like I've had this conversation like with my husband even like that's exactly what I would have done because they tell you not to let them take you to
A
anywhere
secondary
else.
location. Never
Yes.
be taken to a secondary location.
Yes. So
You
get the fuck out of there.
Right. If you're going to have to die, choose how it happens.
Yeah.
That is what we teach women. And I think that that's something that men, we're totally off on a tangent here now, folks. Just gather up with this circle of mama bears here. We're going to tell you, we totally teach women, and have for over 30 years or more, that if your last grasp at power is to choose how you die, then do it. I mean,
Yep.
that already shows you the state of disarray our country has been in. I cannot
Yeah.
imagine, and for us, it's minuscule compared to what it is for women of any color.
Hmm.
You know, the number of missing and murdered Indigenous women in every state, and much higher in this state than the public realizes, you
Well,
know?
we're just adding them up this year.
Exactly. It's been a very, there are many, many missing Indigenous children um, this year that are on the books as runaways. And you can only run so far with nothing.
Yeah.
Someone is driving you away at a certain point. So, but let's reel it back in. Woosah. I will be lighting a candle when we're done with this. Um, Tomorrow night, doors open at
Yes.
6:30.
Yes.
Spirit of Peace Church over on South Cliff Avenue, and then we're going
Yeah.
to gather inside at 7 for some words of comfort and the Silent Vigil.
Yep.
Should
We'll
people
have
bring
some
their?
music. No, we will have we're not allowed like actual
You have flameless candles for safety, right?
we have flameless candles for safety. So if you have a flameless candle, feel free to bring it, but otherwise you won't be able to light your own candle in inside the church. Um we will have some music. It will be a somber event. We will um
This is not one for bringing our megaphones and bringing our signs,
no,
but
no,
this
I
is
mean,
where you find your community that has megaphones and signs.
yes, yes, I do hope that you come and you network and you find your people, that your fellow people who give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
um and but no, we're not coming in with signs and blowhorns on this one.
And this is
This
this is
is
I've spoken at events like this before, and this is often the time where I say pay attention who does attend these kind of events and how they behave at them, because that is where you learn who your safe faces and community are.
mm,
You know, we're getting to be a bigger city, we're less neighborhood centric, but that is how you learn who your safe faces, safe places are.
yeah, yeah, uh because this is just about honoring victims. This is not about there's no ego here. There's no I hope to prevent any centering of anyone but the victims.
Wonderful.
Um,
I do know at some of the vigils I've attended before, people often bring photos of the victims. Is that okay?
that's absolutely fine. Um, and feel free to bring your anger. Um, I think anger is often secondary to grief and heartbreak. But this also is not going to be a hate-filled event. I, I, I am so angry, but I think we need a moment to, um, even today we were going through slides and I am not comfortable with ICE being centered in this event. This is to honor these victims and their families, um and I think the other reason this is so important to me is because we have so many people in our community, whether you realize it or not, who could have been one
Yes.
of these men.
Yes.
Um, Whether it is our indigenous neighbors who just look like brown men, um, or the amount of refugees and immigrants
Absolutely.
we have here who are terrified. Um, Another great way to support your immigrant neighbors, Lutheran Social Services is gathering dry goods
Food
to
supplies.
deliver to, yes, to deliver to immigrant families who are afraid to leave their homes
Yes.
um, in Sioux Falls, South
Oh,
Dakota.
I know.
Um,
The
and
the
so,
the people that when all this started, the people that were chanting, "I would hide Anne Frank." Where are you for Angela Fernandez? Is what I want to say.
yes,
Like I never wanted to get to where we had to hide children.
yeah,
I know early on that the first event I was asked to speak at, that is what I got up and said. I said, you're all saying you would hide Anne Frank, and that's great, but why are you willing to let it get there?
yeah,
And we've jumped over that step. There are people in hiding, but we've gone right to executing people in the street.
yeah, absolutely. Um, and that they're scared for a reason, like for good
Mm-hmm.
reason. And we are detaining people without much documentation.
And
I think it's
disappearing them into the system.
yes, I think it's important to acknowledge that ICE has 60 days um to report deaths. So we don't know how many people are dead right now.
No,
Um
no.
if you trust that number to begin with.
Exactly,
Um
because if they will do that in public, on camera, in the street, wearing their own body camera, what is happening behind closed doors? What is happening to women and children? Not to downplay what's happened to the men, or that men are actually more commonly probably picked up in these immigration sweeps, but we also know that women and children in incarceration scenarios are victims of horrible, unspeakable
horrors.
things. Yes, and
Yes.
um, that's someone just commented the comment of their detainees being reported as getting pregnant, and how is that happening?
How is
So
that happening? Yeah. We know that. We know how that's happening.
we know, right? Yes.
Um
Well, I appreciate we're coming up on the end of our time here. I appreciate you rapid responding to me and wanting to just talk about this face to face. Very unplanned, very off the cuff. I just wanted to be able to kind of speak about some of that, whether or not I should have my signs and megaphone, and I should not. And if there was anything I needed to bring on my own, and I definitely look forward to that, the gathering of different people speaking their words of comfort over each other.
yeah. Well, and I appreciate you having me and reaching out and embracing the last minuteness of this all because as someone said to me the other day, if anyone gives you crap for this being planned, with little notice, you remind them that those men had
No
no
notice.
notice.
Mm-hmm.
And that struck me, um that is every time we have no excuse to not respond.
Right. Right. Well, I
So
thank you so
appreciate
much.
you embracing that.
Yes, I thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night.
Yes, I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow night.
Yes. I would say that could be one thing we could recommend people bring a friend, a coworker, a neighbor.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You never know who you're going to spark something
Who
with.
is feeling very alone right now and
Yes.
needs to be invited to something like this. And also, if you're somebody watching and you do feel alone and you feel like I won't know anyone there, this is the moment you are the most welcome.
Yes.
Like I said,
Absolutely.
I'll be there, obviously. Edie will be there. Obviously, we're going to be, we're putting ourselves out there as safe faces. If you come in and you're at this event alone and you're like just feeling lost, you know us now.
Yep. Absolutely. And I will speak to anybody.
Yeah. You can ask
So
us
please
about our
come and say
cats.
hello to me. Yes.
We we probably won't have them there, but you can ask me about my birds. Oh my gosh, I've become a bird lady this year.
Oh, that's so exciting. I'm a snake lady now.
I don't have a pet bird. I've just become one of those people throwing random seeds in my yard to see who shows up. So,
Well, that's beautiful too. I've actually got a snake now, but
yeah, that'll be. You could bring that. Just hide
I
it in your purse.
I totally could. I totally could.
I don't know that that's as much of an allergen risk as my cat.
Well, we will see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow
Snake
night.
possibly too.
Okay. Thank you so
Bye
much
bye.
for joining me. Bye bye.
Yeah. Six.
All right. I apologize that if you watch this from the beginning, that there's probably about 6 minutes of silence because apparently the mic I had plugged in was not connecting. I also apologize for the weird noises throughout because I'm outside and fighting with people inside my house. But again, if you are feeling alone, if you're feeling grief, if you're feeling unmitigated anger about the state of the world right now with these events, join the community tomorrow night at the Silent Vigil at Spirit of Peace, South Fourth Avenue in Sioux Falls. Doors open at 6:30 and the event starts at 7. It is going to be held inside, so you do not have to fear the heat. And this is a time to come together. And from this, I do believe it will blossom into a time of planning and action. Always consider everything a call to action. The specific call to action for this event is to bring donations for South Dakota Voices for Peace. I know some of their representation will be there and will be able to accept cash. Also, they have their donation link on their website, and I will make sure to share all those links. So, have a blessed day, everybody. Be safe.